I'm Kate Authier. My last name's weird, so that's credit to my husband. It's French. And so I always put funnies up, and so y'all had a little break, so I put them up there. My favorite one, if you're in education, the sub one in the middle. And then one of the panelists referenced the Jetsons, so I thought that was interesting that he said that, and then yeah, it's up there too. All right, so that's my content information. I also did put some things on the middle of the tables. I didn't have as many as I thought I had. And there are some in Ziploc bags because when you're in education, you use everything that you have. And we have a lot of Ziploc bags on elementary campuses. So the fancy ones, some of you maybe get a fancy one, but most of them are Ziploc. This is a little about me. So that's my family. I have 3 boys, so my house is wild. We don't have nice things in our home. I have a 5th grade son, Anderson, 4th grade son, Brooks. 2nd grade son Campbell, you might have noticed that's ABC because we had the A and the B. We're like, well, we got to do C. And so oftentimes that's what I call them is ABC. They're all at school with me, and that's been a huge blessing. So they've all been at school with me, and I'm hoping to stay in the game so they can continue to stay with me for a little bit longer. My husband is my high school sweetheart. We've known each other since 5th grade when we participated against each other in punt, pass, and kick because I played football for 3 years when I was younger, tackle football, and I actually beat him. So I have my 1st place trophy in the house, and he has his 2nd place. I love to fish, so if you see me on the weekends or in the summer, wherever, although not this summer because it was so hot and still is, I'm fishing. And then that one on the bottom is the one I just got recently, so I had to add that one up there. We have a deer lease out in Grayford, if anybody knows where that is, out past Weatherford. And so that's where I go all the time. And then the sumo wrestling, I love to have fun at school, so that's kind of my look a lot. And I'm an Aggie, so any Aggies? Fighting Class Aggie 2008? Oh, yay. So that's one of my favorite places on earth. So that's all about me. So this is kind of what I'm going to go over. You're going to see lots of pictures, probably too many pictures because I like to share pictures, but it's hard to fit so many on the screen, so it may be a little bit busy. You're going to see a lot of different things that our kids do. I know that you know what STEAM or STEM learning is, but just from my perspective and our school's perspective, this is kind of different things that incorporate it. For us, of course, there's the acronym, and the reason I have that on there is because when I go to some conferences, some people don't know what each one stands for. And so we do incorporate the arts, very big on our campus. We have project-based learning, we integrate the subject areas, we do real-world connections. We try to always make the connections for our kids. In the 4 C's, critical thinking, collaboration, community, and creativity. But the biggest thing I would say on our campus is that engagement. So student engagement and teacher engagement, because if the teachers are excited about what they're teaching, then they're going to be excited about coming to work. I do have low teacher turnover on my campus this past year. In a year when we saw a lot of teacher turnover, I hired 1 new 5th grade teacher. I have 4 sections at every grade level, so I have 1 new 5th grade teacher. She came to me from another campus. She's a parent actually on our campus, and then my music teacher, and that was it. Over the past 6 years, I've had a very low turnover. The only people that have left have been faculty members who have moved up either to instructional coaches, administration jobs. My AP opened Marvin Biomedical Academy in our district, which is a focus on the biomedical sciences, and or they've moved out of state. We had quite a few staff members move out of state after COVID, so they want to be close to their family. So this is I don't know if it's going to work. This is a video, forms of energy, so you can kind of just see. It's kind of a dated video you'll see with the masks on. I need to put an updated one in there. But just so you can kind of see some of the things that our students do. This is a 5th grade forms of energy project, and we actually just finished this up recently. I just haven't had a chance to make a new video. I don't know if the sound will work. Oh. Can't really hear them, but you can see them. Talk about recycling. We have what's called Wildman Mart at our school, and it's just all recycled materials, and kids go shopping. It's also very messy. They use different robotics equipment, different robots in their projects, along with all the recycled materials. They present. We have visitors come to our campus from all over. Lots of different districts have come to our campus. Community members come in. Our kids love presenting. They've never met strangers in the school setting. Just wanted to show you a little bit of what they kind of look like. You can kind of hear that was a ballpark, the Richards Ballpark, which is where kids play baseball in our town. So light, sound, thermal, mechanical. They also do another project in 5th grade on the State Fair of Texas, so they're working on those right now. So the kids are in the building and the planning and the designing phases of those projects too. And this all incorporates writing as well, so they write about their projects. There's a lot that goes into these. These are just the final products. So that's just kind of an example. This is our current building, so it's over 100 years old. It's been an elementary school, a high school, a junior high, global STEM high school in our community, and then most recently it's us for the past 6 years. We love our building. It's very near and dear to our hearts. It is hard during STAR testing because you're walking on the wood floors and you have to be very careful because they're the original wood floors because you can hear everything, but they're beautiful. But we are getting a new school. So our district just passed a very big bond for a second comprehensive high school and a new Wildman STEAM Academy building for us that's going to be custom fit for our campus. So we're very excited about that. Our staff got to help design it. So a lot of things you're going to see in my presentation in our new building, they're going to be custom fit for us. So that's on the left-hand side. You can kind of see, well, that's the land where it's going to be. Just a little plug about this too. I'm going to have a fishing team. I'm excited because the way that the land is, it goes way down. So they're going to have to dig out like a 3-acre pond. So it's going to be Authier Lake, and I'm going to get it stocked. So yeah, that's going to be my retirement thing. I'm going to be the fishing person. So this is just kind of just want to give you a little bit of background on how Wildman STEAM Academy came to be. So in 2014, our district and through the Long Range Planning Committee started talking to our community, and our community was interested in having a STEM elementary school because we had a high school. So we wanted to give elementary students the opportunity and get them interested. So as they moved up, that was something that they wanted to do. And so there was some training that started in our district with Project Lead the Way. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Project Lead the Way. I was trained in Project Lead the Way. I went down to Tyler for that. So that was incorporated into different parts of our district because it was used at our STEM high school. Also, Texas A&M Spark came and did some different trainings for our teachers. So it started a buzz. And then when our district rezoned and opened a new high school in our district, moved to a new building, then we were also born. So that was kind of how that process started. So in 2018 was when the plan started for our campus. I was hired in February of that year, and I was working as assistant principal at one campus and then the principal at the other campus, and I had 2 different offices and, planning STAR, doing all of those kinds of things in our world while also planning a new campus and hiring staff. So I touched on this earlier, but we hired staff from all over the district and from out of the district. And so that's kind of the process. So from February 2018 to when we opened in August, we built a school. And renovated a little bit. The biggest thing we did was paint. Professional development, so we knew in opening this new campus and opening a STEAM Academy, we knew that we were going to have to support our teachers. That was going to be the biggest thing. Because if our teachers didn't have the support and our teachers didn't have the training, then it wasn't going to be any different than any other place. And so we looked at what was going to give us the biggest bang for our buck, what was going to give us the biggest impact. And we picked National Institute for STEM Education. And like I said, our teachers are still being trained. So my new 5th grade teacher this year and my music teacher will be STEM certified. So they're going through the process right now. All of our administrators, teaching staff, and our librarian are STEM certified. And so we started that process. So all of our teachers have the certificate for STEM teaching, and then our campus is also certified as well. So for the National Certificate for STEM Excellence, our campus has that as well. And then most recently this year, our district got the certification. So it's a really big deal down in Waxahachie. We're doing great things. Come see us. Come see us. And we also brought in Texas A&M Spark, and Jack John Peterson was our contact there. And so they came and trained our teachers on the engineering design process because that's integral to our campus and what that looks like, and then bringing in robotics and maker spaces and those kinds of things. And so our teachers trained with them as well. We also use STEM scopes. So at that time, there's STEM scope science, and that's what we started with. And so when our teachers plan, they start with science, and then they look at, okay, what's coming up in ELAR, what's coming up in social studies, what's coming up in math, and how can we integrate the content areas? Does it work always? No, but a lot of times it does. So if you go into one of my classrooms and you say, what are you doing today? What subject are you learning? The kids are like, well, I don't know. Well, it's math, it's science. Like, they don't see them as separate content areas. Another thing about our campus is that we're self-contained, K-5, which a lot of people, when hire a new teacher, they're like, oh, every content area, and I'm like, yeah, because that's my view. I think it's best for kids in elementary school, but it teaches the kids that everything is integrated together, and it helps with project-based learning because I'm not having to stop and switch and line up with all my things and go to my next class and see that as a separate entity. So that's a big thing. So at the end of our first year, we had a big celebration where we celebrated all of our teachers getting their STEM certificates. and for NICE. But another big part of that was that we celebrated everybody on our campus because it truly is a collaborative effort. So our paraprofessionals would cover classes so that our teachers could go observe other classrooms to work on their certification. So we had all of our teachers and all of our instructional staff walked across the stage in front of all of our students in our community and were celebrated. So I didn't put their picture up there. Those are our teachers, but all of our support staff had their certificates as well. Not from NICE, but certificates that we made for them. And so that was a very exciting time. So that's kind of how we came to be, and we've just been learning ever since. That whole first year when we were going through our NICE certification, because it is an online certification, it's at your own pace, it brought us really, really close together. So if you're interested in that process, I'll be able to help you and give you some feedback on that. But it really brought us together as a campus because we had to lean on each other and support each other through that. But we did not know what we were doing. So, we had some training, but you really learn from doing. And so from trying and failing and trying and failing, oh yeah, it worked this time, so we're gonna do that again. And that's just how it goes. These are other things about our campus. We started with our grade level leads, principal, me, and our teachers, and we started planning. We use the Ron Clark Academy house system. If you're familiar with that, if you're not, look it up. And all of our teachers have been there. We continue to send them. I've been there once. I'd love to go again, but there's the money. But I'll find a community partner to help me support. We have flexible seating throughout our campus as well in our classrooms. We have a big partnership with Jacobs Engineering, but we do partner with other companies as well. We partner with Americase, which is based in Waxahachie, and they're a manufacturing firm. So our students will go and see how things are made. And they tour both of their different manufacturing facilities. And then they've also come to our campus, and they're also a big sponsor for us as well. We have lots of different options for extracurricular. I actually lead the theater extracurricular program at our campus with some of my support staff, and right now we're doing the Jungle Book, so we started those practices, and I do that because I love theater and because my son loves theater, so I'm going to give him the opportunity. I heard in the panel discussion and before that about how incorporating the new technology TEKS, I think that you mentioned about that. We have robotics class, so that's one of our rotations. So way back when, and this is probably still the case at some campuses, you have a technology class and you may have like a paraprofessional that was in that class. So ours is she's a certified teacher, and she's built her robotics curriculum from the ground up. There's not really a lot out there, and if someone does know of something, let me know, because we looked far and wide for an actual set of like what can we follow in this class. And there wasn't a lot. So she did some collaboration with some other teachers that we found in other districts that did something like her, but she's really built it from the ground up. So if you're interested in starting a robotics class in your district, she's phenomenal. And you definitely want to come see her and collaborate with her. And so that's been very helpful for our students too. Even down to kindergarten. I mean, starting in kindergarten, they're coding. They're starting in kindergarten, they're going up, and then it just gets higher and higher as you continue. We also are a solution tree campus and use the PLC process. We are K-5, like I said, we are a lottery campus, but the way to get into our campus is you just apply and you get a number, and that's all it's based on. So everybody has a number, and the reason that we became a lottery from the very beginning was to help our district with growth. So our kids come from all over the district, and also because we have to keep our class sizes a certain size because of our campus, because our rooms go from a big room, because it's an old building, to a very teeny tiny room. So we can only fit about 18 bodies in a classroom. Because of that. And like I said, we're self-contained. We actually have about 435 students now. And then we use Seesaw. We use Google, but we also use Seesaw as very important for our kids because they put videos out, they record, they're doing green screen, sending that out to families. So families are getting like a whole feed of what their kids are doing during the school day. And as a parent, I really enjoy that. This is one of my favorite quotes. It says, "Making is fundamental to what it means to be human. We must make, create, and express ourselves to feel whole. There is something unique about making physical things. Things we make are like little pieces of us and seem to embody portions of our soul." If you don't believe this, then go into a kindergarten classroom where they have made something and try to take it from them to put in the display case. They get so mad. So I have to go down and get their things out of their classroom and put them in the display case without them being in there. I have to go during specials. Eventually they'll get excited about it, but at the beginning they're not liking it. I'm going to go a little bit faster because I am short on time and I put way too much in my presentation. We have maker spaces throughout our building. That's a list of our different maker spaces. So we have a Lego wall, and the way the maker spaces work is they're just a part of the classroom. So teachers do have a pass. The kids fill out their own pass, and they travel freely throughout the building to the different maker spaces. So if they're working on their state fair project in 5th grade and they need to go down to Creation Station, which is our art maker space, they'll go down there and paint and work on it down there. They have a timer that they set themselves, and then they'll clean up, go back to class. Even down to our littles, 1st graders are doing that on their own. Of course, they're traveling in pairs, and you have to watch who you send them with. So you need to have, like if you have a space cadet, they need to have a responsible person with them. So that's just a part of being in education. And then we have new ideas for these as well. And like I said, in our new building, these are going to be custom. We have a robotics room, our rec room, that has lots of different kinds of robots, and those have been donations and grants. We wheel and deal to get our materials. That's my son in the middle and the bottom, that little face. And then, so this is again part of our planning process, and I'm not going to read all of it to you. There is a QR code I'll show you at the end, and there's one on your table if you had any of those packets, where it kind of goes through each area and different ways that we integrate and explain that on our campus. So you'll see a list of different robots that we use and technology. We have a lot more now. Anytime something new comes out, we try to figure out a way that we can get it. And one thing I heard in the panel was productive struggle. I think that you said that. And so the power of yet, fail, and growth mindset. I know you probably know what a growth mindset is, but our kids on our campus, you will, if a kid says, I can't do that, then somebody else will tell them, you can't do it yet. That's very common on our campus, and we preach that to our kids and embody that. Also, the fail, first attempt in learning is huge on our campus. So, you're going to start something, you're going to try it, but it's not going to stay that way. You're going to get better. Arts, math, we do a lot of classroom transformations. That orange little fellow right there, that was a kindergarten project. They don't start that good in kindergarten. It takes a while. And I think that also included some paper mache, which is always fun in kindergarten. Let's see, more project ideas with technology. I won't go over all of those. We do have 3D printers. We do have 4 of them. And those are awesome. Our kids, again, start working with those in kindergarten, usually with a 5th grade buddy that helps and supports them. But by the time they're in the upper grades, they're just going and going and going. And we also have a wood engraver on our campus as well, and that's been really cool. These are just some different projects that we've done. One thing on our campus too, with the engineering design process, from kindergarten to 5th grade, we've created like a scaffolding with our vertical alignment with our teachers. So in kindergarten, what do we expect our students to be able to do in the engineering design process? What do they need to master? And so one of their focus on what they master at the very, very bottom part is, if you're on the left, you'll see her. So their focus is that their design is similar to what they actually make, because for kindergarten that can be difficult. And so that's their focus, and then it just goes up from there. So that's something we have on our campus that helps, because that middle one that you'll see, that's a 5th grade project. And they're all out of recycled materials that you can find anywhere, and our parents donate. This is from our district perspective. These are all the different ways that we are incorporating STEM and that we focus on STEM in our district. Like I said, down here, we're a NICE certified district. That's most recent. We have Global High School, Marvin Biomedical Academy. We do have industry certification programs in our high school, both of our high schools as well. And culture, so this is my soapbox, so I think I probably only have about 5 minutes. I can do a whole nother presentation on culture. But I did want to put this in there. This is the fail, first attempt in learning. And so if you can't tell what that is from the back, that's messed up stuff from a 3D printer. So those are designs that kids have made that did not work. And so then we put them out so the kids can see them. And so they can see that it's okay. And it makes a good little decoration. But we have to value and reward risk in the culture. So these are just ways that I build it on my campus. And I know there's not, from what I saw from hands raised, unless people were scared, there's not as many district or campus administrators in here. But even from the outside looking in, and you're looking at campuses, this is what makes it work. So being present, being in classrooms, that's my favorite place to be. I hate that I'm not there today, but it's just kind of what happens. I want to be here. It's more important to be here. And you have to know your people. So it's a people business. And so keeping that at the forefront. We have a lot of fun. We have a big thing at our house, my house, a swim party. We have about 40 staff kids on our campus. And so they bring their families and everybody comes over, and we have a big party at the beginning of the year. And that's one of the things our campus looks forward to. We also, the Ron Clark Academy on the right-hand side, that's what we do at our campus as far as the house systems. There's a lot more I could go into with that with our culture. But at the beginning of the year, all of our kids and all of our staff slide into a new school year, and they also slide in to find their house. And that's the house they stay with throughout the rest of their time on our campus. Also empowering other people to lead. So on the bottom left-hand side, that was an idea from a paraprofessional, was to transform our cafeteria into a pizza bistro. And we did that because sometimes people don't know how to act in the cafeteria. And so we're trying to teach them that it's like a restaurant. And some kids don't get to go to restaurants. So we're showing them, what that's like. And, we sit and we can talk without yelling at each other and those kinds of things. So we've done about 4 of those now. We most recently did the Rainforest Cafe. And these are just more of my, I do soapbox moments at my staff meetings where we talk about like real things. And so that's just one of the things we talked about recently, different ways that we recognize. And then up there at the top left, I touched on that earlier, but making teachers want to love their job, getting them to love their job so that they want to come back, so that they don't leave, is super important. And then I'll leave you with this. And then again, this is kind of more for my educator friends, but I think it goes to everybody else as well. If you don't know who Jen Hatmaker is, she's wonderful. But I love this book and I love this quote from her. So when we're thinking about STEM and we're thinking about things that, come from the state, or they come from our district, or they come from our positions in whatever position you're in different industries, that we have to be careful when we're wanting to incorporate more things. We have to look at where we are, like what our beam is, and that's the analogy she gives. So you can't do everything. So picking what's the most important thing for you, and then what's something I can add, and what's something I can take away. So I look at that a lot of time in my life too, because I'll go to a training and today I'm sure I'm going to hear great things that I want to do, but I can't do everything. So I have to pick and choose, what's my family's the most important thing, and my career is important, but it's not the most important thing. So I have to make sure and not let that bleed over into everything else. And so I always talk to my staff about that and talk to everybody I get a chance to talk about that. And so that's important to me as well. And then that's one of my little friends. And this is the QR code to my presentation, because I did skip over quite a bit. Those are some different links to different things that I discussed in the presentation. And I'm always happy to discuss anything further. You can come visit us. We love to have visitors at my school and in my district. And I'd love to collaborate. If you're an industry partner, I'm going to probably reach out to you, because we love to have you come into our school and we'd love to partner with you.